granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello, this chap here has written something in The Guardian. And look, yes, I know that Maduro, the whole world is upside down. There's trouble in Iran. Good. I mean, not for the Iranian people, of course, but for that bunch of fascist thugs that have taken control of the country. I want to deal with that in another video. And I'm quite sure that what's happened in Venezuela has to do with what's going on in Iran somehow. But again, this has been hanging around for long enough. I've been looking at this post for several days now, and I've just got to say something about it. So Robin Minotti says, can anybody explain this to me as if I'm 10 years old? Robin, even a 10-year-old would have trouble with that sort of logic. In fact, a 10-year-old would laugh anybody out of the room. So, no, I can't explain it to you as if you were a 10-year-old because it makes no sense. And 10-year-olds are quite good with making sense. But I will just make a few comments about this. Okay, Robin? So let's get to it. You see, George Monbiot, who is, by the way, some sort of an ecological activist and well, yes, some sort of an ecological activist, and he calls himself a journalist and an environmentalist, I believe. And The Guardian got him to write this. The facts are stark, it says here. Europe must open the door to migrants or face its own extinction. Yeah, well, let's have a look at how the migrants are helping us not go extinct. This is in Dunstable, I believe. It's a clothing bank and a weapons drop-off point. And if you notice, this clothing bank, which is on public land, so it's probably a council-run initiative, and this is specifically for Muslims. I don't know about the weapons disposal chute, but certainly this. Ummah, it says here, the Ummah Welfare Trust, and it's right there out on public land. So even if it's not that, even if that bin is not being publicly funded, it is certainly being allowed by the council to help the Ummah. This is about a UKIP protest which was going to be in Tower Hamlets. This, okay, so that aside, I think that was deliberately provocative. I'm not saying I agree with that, but what I am showing you is Tower Hamlets, which is part of London, a street in Tower Hamlets. Now, in what way is Britain not facing extinction here? Because I don't see one single British cultural person. Now, I've said before on many occasions, speaking as somebody who used to do portrait painting for a living, I can tell you skin and hair colour don't mean much to me. Just a little bit more blue in the mix and you've got a different skin tone. What does mean a lot to me is the culture of the country. The culture of Britain is very important. It was the spark for the culture of the rest of the world. British people who went to America, which is now the current hegemon, they had British ideas of freedom and individuality, which are actually being chipped away a little bit. I noticed that the new mayor of New York made a big speech upon his inauguration or initiation or whatever it was when he took control in the new year. He was talking about exchanging the coldness of individualism for the warmth of, well, communism, really. Okay, but that's your problem there in America. I'm talking about this here. These people are exchanging the coldness of British individualism for the brainlessness of the Muslim Ummah. I mean, just look at it. Is that, or is that not, extinction? I mean, there may still be people living in this country, but the culture will not be British. I remember, I think it was Andrew Gold. Yeah, he was saying in Argentina, there's part of Argentina which was heavily immigrated to by Italians. Nothing wrong with that, except that the Argentinian culture is turning Italian in those places. There is an Italian culture there, not an Argentinian culture. Well, I don't know. The Argentinians might consider that not a big problem. After all, they're both sort of Christian, they're both sort of Catholic. The languages are very similar. But this is something else altogether, is it not? Here, this is also Tower Hamlets. Is this a British extinction or not? And then there's this. Downing Street urges police action after chants of Zionist scum off our street in Tower Hamlets. Now, I'm finding a lot about Tower Hamlets, but you'll find even worse in other places. The trouble is the pictures I found about this were all sort of copyrighted, so I couldn't use them. But there's places like Savile Town, which is a place in Yorkshire, which is about 99% Muslim now. That is, in my opinion, extinction. And Dunstable. I once came back from, I was driving back from Luton, and I happened to take a wrong turning, and I ended up going through the centre of Dunstable. I wasn't in, and this was years ago, I wasn't in Britain. There were mosques all over the place. There wasn't a single person in Western dress, and the streets were crowded with women, fully covered, faces too, and men in, in Jill, whatever those long, as Prince Philip describe them, nightshirts. All right, so let's get back to this. So, Robin Manotti, can I explain this as if to a 10-year-old? No, because a 10-year-old would see the nonsense in this. Right. However, I can try by saying this man has the logic of a 5-year-old. And if you're 10 years old, you're way beyond that now. Don't worry about it, dear. It's just not possible to raise his argument to the level of 10-year-old logic. That's it. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.